Every morning, I get up to do better than I did the next day. I want my family to see me succeed no matter what the odds are. Life is not about engaging in conflict. It's about resolving. Life presents a lot of avenues for you to pursue. The freedom that I have in my life now is absolutely incredible. I'm not under any time constraints. My wife and I can have lunch anytime we want to. I have more time with my family now. I have more time with my friends. In the beginning, I didn't believe this would work for me. I partnered up with the right people. Now I have gone on to help other people around the world. What I like about this is you can fit this into your schedule and still thrive. I'm able to travel more. I'm able to just live a life of freedom because those are the choices that we made. It's allowed me to expand my portfolio. You can do other things in your life and still have this business as a part of what you do. I'm able to help more people. The reason that you want to get together is so that you can really connect and empower other people. Whether you're a CEO or a person that's looking to generate additional income, you can do this business. In my life, I did not want to be known as the man who spent too much time at the office. I wanted to be known as the man who spent quality time with his family.
That was fantastic. Edwin, it's a real pleasure to introduce you to everyone here. I don't know if you want to do it on a questions and answer session, or you want just to open up and share as much as you want, whichever way is the best for you, and whichever way is going to suit you best. Can you hear me?
But I'm not sure for the others.
Did we drop?
We hear you, but he dropped.
Edward is not on anymore.
Yeah, no, well, it looks like he's on. I just unmuted him, but his camera's gone off.
Maybe his reception.
Not sure what's going on.
Guys, I apologize for this.
He's back.
I apologize. I have no clue of what's going on with our internet service. This is so unusual for us. My phone won't work. My computer won't work. And it says unstable internet service. Very unusual. So I apologize to you all for this.
No problem. No problem, Edwin. Listen, I was saying, I don't know how you want to do this. Do you want to do it on a question and answer session? Do you want to open up and basically talk or share and basically do whatever you want to do basically with the time that we have?
Sure. And I'll go on and speak before it goes out. Hopefully it don't go out again. But again, guys, when Boris asked me to be on the call, I told him absolutely, without a doubt, I would be here. Proud to be in business with this team. And he's been expressing the need to make sure that the team know that their support from the highest level of the company. And as the lead top distributor of the company, global, your whatever they call it, Global Master Ambassador. I want you to hear from my mouth to your ears. You can definitely count on the support. We will be doing many more calls like this. And I am actually planning my trip to Europe. I will be in different parts of Europe. And so hopefully, I don't know if I get a chance to do Bulgaria right away. He's talked about that, but I don't know if I can pull that one off this time. But I already have committed, and I'll send that banner out for UK, Paris, Barcelona, and
Milan. It's already been posted, so they're all aware. Yeah.
Oh, good deal. Well, so if you can get to those areas, I'm coming from the U.S., so if you can get to those areas, to be a part of those events, I promise you it'll be worth your time, and I'd love to get a chance to meet each and every person that's on the call and that you'll be putting into business. But just to give you all a little bit of where we are as a company, last week was another big travel week for me within the United States. This time on last Monday, we had a chance to meet with our wholesale partners for the travel booking engine that we use, and they have multiple sources, and we wanted to really kind of narrow it down and get a thorough understanding of the capabilities of the service that we have. And I can tell you, out of 300 clients that this, made this operation that they have, and the proprietary ways that they do the transactions to pull the low cost, we now are listed as their top priority because of the amount of travel that we are actually booking. As we now are growing, they see the different areas around the globe that require more robust servicing in different areas, so we can get better prices throughout Europe and Asia and different places. And so they're pushing very hard to make sure that their various vendors, if you will, are right there in line with us to make sure that we have very competitive prices. And I was very pleased to see and talk with the owner of the company and all of the staff, because they too now see that we have a bigger vision for that product than anybody that they've ever allowed to use it. And so we were looking at it. We have about 70,000 new customers. Boomerang customers that we put into the system. 70,000 Boomerang customers. Right at 30,000 distributors right now in the organization. And we're putting in new Boomerang customers that are activating their positions to the tune of 1,500 to 2,000 new Boomerang customers per day. And as you all know, we're using the travel industry just as a way to acquire the customer. This is all about data. The companies in the world that own the most data, and your individual divisions, starting with your distributorship, that is just as important to the company as anything else, because the customers that you acquire is data for your business as well. And so as you've heard us talking about it, it's bigger than just the travel industry. Yes, we're going to make a ton of money with it. We're going to Uberize it. So we're using an Uber technology with an Amazon philosophy. Uber technology works. Who would have thought that somebody would have mobilized cars around the world without having to own cars, and now they're transporting people from place to place and making a ton of money with that. Same thing happened with Airbnb. They took a technology and actually now have been able to use other people's homes that they don't own, and now they're considered one of the largest reseller of hotel type of rooms or whatever through the system that they're put together. We believe what we're doing now is the Uberization, if you will, of the travel industry. We will have an app, and now people will be able to have right at their fingertips an iBuumerang app, and they can go out there and get some of the best prices in the world right through the app that's based around the travel industry as well as lifestyle. So we're now going to begin to build people lifestyle around that the iBuumerang concept. So it's going to be the job of us as distributors to attract the customer, to draw them in. And we gave you something by giving them a free site. It's free for the customer to try, and it's free for them to keep. The only thing that I ask my customers to do is, if you are in the market for travel or any type of leisure or lifestyle type of things that you're looking for, go to that free site first and see if we can beat the prices. Our goal is either to beat or meet any price that's out there, and that way, that customer will have their own site. We are also looking at other things to do that would incentivize the customers to stay. Maybe offering them, making sure that they have points and things that they can use to actually reuse for the purchases of their travel and different things that we have, and different incentives for the customer as well. And so we're putting those things in place. But with 109 days of being in business, I think this is 109. We've been in a little over 3 months. We generated $12 million of sales in 3 months. We've paid out close to, I think it's now over $7 million in commissions in 3 months. We're tracking some major movement here in terms of what we're doing as a brand new company that many companies around the world who are major billion-dollar operations, those guys didn't do in their first couple of years. We're doing it in our first 3 to 4 months of being in business. It's not all pretty right now. Everything is not all in place. As you all know, this is still what we call our pre-launch time. The actual official launch of business is for us when we do our first international convention in Las Vegas, Nevada, on August 30th through September, I think 1st or 2nd, that weekend is when we're going to do the official launch. Now, quite honestly, it still won't probably be everything in place, but we knew it was going to take us a few months to kind of get things rolling, test some things, make sure the pay system work and we can accept money, test the product and make the adjustment, and then prepare ourselves to add the other verticals that we would add within what you all have heard of, the PRIB. See, the travel industry to us is the front door to where we're going. The biggest piece that you heard about, and maybe not, but if this is the biggest piece to us, what we call the PRIB, the perpetual residual income builder. That's where our mindset is on the highest level of the company, is to build out the PRIB so the PRIB can do things like retention. So you don't have to worry about being the person to go out and follow up if you don't want to. You can always build your relationships with your distributors. You can always do that. But we want to make sure we have our own marketing team, our telemarketing team that will be able to call on your behalf, keep your people active. We're also going to have a marketing side where we're working on right now, where they're going to learn our culture. It's our job as distributors to acquire the customers, but it's going to be iBoomerang's job to keep that customer. Our goal is to woo that customer, is to keep that customer engaged and make them feel like whenever I need something, I can always call on iBoomerang as like a concierge type of a service for various parts of their lives. We also now are investing and we have been talking to several companies, I put it this way, but let me finish the investing part of it. We've been looking to put the right company together that's going to do our data analytics. So when I say having an Amazon philosophy, it's probably pretty much like if you're familiar with Facebook or Amazon. If you've ever been online looking for something, maybe shoes or a shirt or tools or whatever it may be, some kind of way it finds its way on your social media if you have social media. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I've been on Facebook and I saw that I was looking at a pair of shoes and they had a advertisement for the same shoes. I'm like, how in the world they knew what I was thinking? Well, they're able to track the different data from different people and they cater the marketing to that particular person. And so when we look at Amazon, whenever you order something, if you ever had a chance to order or know of Amazon, whenever you order something from Amazon, Their job is to know their customer. And they have, when you go back and return to the site, typically you see things that you've ordered previously. Well, in the same sense, we're going to know your customer. And we're going to make sure we cater to the customer. We have already companies around the globe that know we're about to put 5 million customers in business by the end of this year. That's our goal. We'll have 5 million customers in our database by the end of 2019. With 5 million customers in the database, other companies are wanting to have accessibility to that amount of people. So we have a captive audience, if you will, that we can market to. And I'm not saying we're going to take any of these particular products, but like a cinema company that want to give us a big discount on movie tickets, like an insurance company is trying to offer us different special rates for people who are looking for insurance, telecommunication services. A fuel card company has been in touch with us. Just different ones now say, we know your track record of success in that industry, but we also see the vision of what you're about to do with this customer database. And we want to see if you would consider having our product as one to be offered to those customers as they are looking for various products. And so these products won't be marketed to all of the customers. They'll be marketed to the ones that are looking for it. So we're not going to go out there and just be pitching products and bombarding people with stuff that they're not looking for. The system will automatically know that Edwin or Boris or whoever it may be, that they're looking for this. And now we can say, because you are a member of iBuumerang, you get a special rate. And then they can offer the service. And now once that customer has made a purchase, even though you had nothing to do with the transaction, you get full credit for that transaction. See, that never has been done before in the industry. When I've been in the industry of direct sales for 21 years and done very well for myself. I'm proud to say we did the right things with our money. We grew properly in terms of our knowledge base of this industry. And we understand business overall. And so when I look at what was going on in the industry, the average person, you hear us talk about this, they're probably going to only get 2 customers, if they get 2 customers at all, whenever they enter into a network marketing company, maybe 2 customers. And then they never really follow up with the customers, so they never grow the customer base, and it's hard to create residual income. But all of the products that we had to offer them, skin care, nutritional products, some services, and all the things we did, we typically had to charge them more in order for them to purchase that product. In our company, the only time we make money is when a person saves money. So we would never offer a person any product or service within our company unless it's below what they would normally pay for it. And that's what's going to make us uniquely different than anything out there. And now you have a chance for us to go out there and perpetually grow your income, because we're not going to ask you to offer those products or sell it. We're going to let the company go out there and take their resources, and help you build an organization around the globe, not just from a distributor standpoint, but from a distributor standpoint and solidifying it with a real customer-based business with real products and services that these customers and distributors would like. And so it's a different concept. It's taken the pressure off of many people who were not into, selling and all that. Felt that some people just wanted to be a part of the industry, but they were not necessarily the best salespeople. Now we're saying, don't be a salesperson, be a talesperson. Tell a person about this, share the information with them, show them how they can benefit. And that way we can help you grow a real solid organization. And our goal was to fix the gaps and the challenges that we saw in our years of being in business, where the average person could participate and really go out there and grow a large organization, again, with a very strong customer base that will produce significant incomes if they choose to do that. And so that's kind of the mindset that we have here. It took off faster than we thought. Over 130 countries we have paid a commission to in terms of distributors now. We're not registered in all of them. We didn't even want to go there, but they have found a way to get started. And then we're one of the most talked about companies in the industry today. And it's exciting to see it. So our goal now is to catch up with where we are as a company, make sure that things are in place, pay system, you know, whether accepting money or paying money, make sure the product is up to speed, and building the culture that we want amongst the customer service. It's so much more to do, but, you know, as they used to say, the old saying goes here in the States, we use Rome. We said Rome was not built in one day. And so I don't know if that translates all over the world, but, you know, no one business is built in one day. And we're only 3.5 to 4 months old. We have done an excellent job. We look like we are a 3 or 4 year old company with some of the things that are taking place, but we are still only an infant in terms of a brand new startup of a company. And the reason why, now I'll say this and turn it over to you, boys. The reason why I would say that we look so much older, but we're only so young, is because all of us have had, the ones that are leading from an executive standpoint, we have had many decades now, a few decades of successfully building an organization. I still have a group in my previous company, 250,000 people. I still draw a significant income from that. We're not strangers to building. We did $3 billion of sales in that company, and it's still going today. We're not actively hands-on working it, but because we built it strong and solid, it's still producing an income. This is the first time we have been in ownership. And the funny thing about that is 2 things we said. We would never own a company, one, because we always made more money than the owners from their dividends. Our money as being distributors was always bigger for some reason than what they were able to pull. And also we said we would never do travel again, never, because we had tried it twice and it didn't go well. And so it's funny to see that we own a travel network marketing company, man. I'm still thinking what happened, you know, but technology has changed. Time has changed, and people are looking for something different. Travel is still, I'm gonna use the term, you know, exciting, or some people use the term sexy, if you will, for lack of a better term. It's still very appealing, and just that alone will be enough to attract the people that we need in order for us to fulfill what we envision with the pre-op system as well. So just, you know, for those who you know, wanted to hear a little bit of the high level view of what's going on, I guess I'll end it with that and turn it over to Boris if you want to go into any questions. I don't want to be redundant on the information here, but I want to make sure we get down to specific questions that can help a person build.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's unbelievable information what you just shared. I mean, it's just to put things into perspective with everyone. I mean, just if you just think about the Uber and the fact that for the last 7 years they've grown from nowhere to the fastest growing company, and today they're worth 120 billion. Now imagine if you were basically 7 years ago in Uber, starting to promote Uber. And now if you pay attention to the numbers that Edwin just shared with us, 12 million in sales within 109 days, from which 7 million were paid in commissions. Now this is 60%. Now imagine if you're drawing a check out of Uber today, 7 years later, and you're getting paid 60%. You, your people, your friends, family, your business partners, just from what's happening with Uber. Obviously, travel is much bigger than transportation.
Yes.
And like he says, this is just the entry point into something that is going to be like Amazon, that started as well with just single product and has grown to a massive company, the biggest company today, that everyone is purchasing from Amazon. And they use the same technology, but the same technology has been used for people when they get in to spend more money. So they get in, and the technology is offering them to buy more, to spend more, where we're using the same technology for people to spend less, to save more, and to benefit more. So it's unbelievably powerful. Now, because I think we have people that they never been in network marketing. They've been in corporate, like traditional business, corporate environment, or jobs. I think it's good for everyone to to get to know a little bit more about your story, because I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people that they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do better. They can achieve freedom. They can access to this perpetual residual income, and for them it's like they don't know what to do. They don't know like what to do on a daily basis to start doing the right activities that they can actually bring them closer to their dreams. So I think maybe you can share more, but the last thing that I was reading, this is like in a magazine with 100 top earners in the industry network marketing. It was showing you, Edwin, as number 59 in the world in earnings with Organo, with 2.1 million with Organo. So I don't know what's the story, but probably you can share a little bit more. Have you been that successful from the minute you get into network marketing, and how long? Probably for people, it's important to know how long you've been in network marketing before they start to understand like what took you from no experience, zero knowledge in network marketing, into starting to get into the right activities, right knowledge, into mastery and success. I think this is gonna be very important for everyone.
That is very good. Again, I've been in the industry now about 21 years. Most of that time was with Holton. He's been around for about 29 years or so. So he was eight, maybe 7 or 8 years, somewhere there about that he had started prior to us connecting. And he didn't have a whole lot of success when we first got together. I think he had one thing toward the end, right prior to us getting together, where he had a spurt of success and made some decent money within a short period of time. And then we got together. I was coming out of the music industry, 13 years of my life in the music industry. I did management, most of it, some of the R&B artists, and some rap here. I didn't rap. Now I don't rap or I don't sing, so we don't do any of that. But I was doing the business side of things, and I still have many contacts around the world from that. But in music, as they say, you find yourself either hitting or not. And I found things wasn't a hit for me, and I had to find something. Didn't know what it was going to be. I'm a person that an entrepreneur at heart. And so I was looking for something. One thing I said, again, back in the day, I would never do network marketing either, because they were always secretive. They would never tell me what I was coming to, and I thought it was a pyramid, and I wasn't going to jail with these guys. I was the CEO of my company that had made some significant money. So, I had this title, I was a status is what I say, trying to impress people that didn't even care about me anyway. So I ran, and somebody tricked me to go to a meeting. And here's a time that I'm going through some financial challenges, because the last bit of money that I had after the music industry and things settled, after I was trying to find my footing, I actually participated in what you call a medical case management company. And I took a salaried position, and I had a minority shareholder position. Not a whole lot. This wasn't a big fancy operation. It was a startup as well. And so I'm taking a job, getting a salary. I don't think I ever received a dividend from that company. But I was tricked to go to a meeting. I went to the meeting, and I was reconnected with Holton Bugs. I had no desire to get started with him. I sat on the island, of the kitchen, the island thing in your kitchen. And so I'm in the middle of the kitchen at this guy's house. And they told me, the way they got me to go to this meeting, they told me they were going to have a barbecue and a little cookout and some drinks. So I'm thinking free food, some drinks, man. Let me go over with these guys. I hopped in the car with my buddy, and we went to this place, and I saw that board and the easel, and I was furious, because I had no desire to be a part of this industry. None. I had no respect for the industry whatsoever. And Holton came in, and of course we had met some time before, and he did the presentation. And this is a true story. They gave the paperwork out. This is the time before we could do electronic stuff right away, right? So they gave me the application. I put everything wrong on that application except for my name. Credit card number was wrong. I don't even know if the phone number was right. And it was just, I had no intent of doing business. And so Holton found my number from the guy who invited me, came by that office that I had from the medical case management company, painted a vision of what he wanted to do, and asked me, man, please partner with me. 4 hours later, I decided to join him. And that was probably one of the best moves that I could have made. Here I am, tens of millions of dollars that I personally earned in the industry since then. And now I have on my resume that I have other people now who have become millionaires, US dollar millionaires from what we do. It's pretty cool to have that. It's not many people can say that in their lifetime, that not only they become a millionaire, but they were able to take other people along with them. And so I'm more proud of that report card of life than anything. And it's because the teachings that we do work. It's because of the leadership concept that we believe in and the environment that we create for people to win and growing people. One thing we understood is you don't grow a company, you grow people. And so if you invest in people and grow people, then you can grow a solid organization or a solid company. And that's been our concept for many years. Our goal right now is to take the team of people that's plugging in with us and grow you and show you how to understand. Not saying that people are not well off, but just having a different level of understanding of business from what we do. I can tell you, network marketing can be some of the best training that you can ever go through, because if you can lead a volunteer army, see, no one can make you do the work here. People only follow people because they believe in them and believe in the vision. And so your leadership skills have to be impeccable or enough that one would follow you. And so we teach more of the leadership training and style and how to grow an organization. And it takes us a different type of person. And I wanted to be someone different. Anybody can go get a desk and put 2 little chairs in the front and call themselves a boss. That's a positional leader. But if you go through what we teach from a leadership perspective and how we build this industry, I know for a fact you become out, even better than where you are, no matter what level that you're on, because you're around like-minded people that have high level of thinking. And I tell people all the time, more than the income that I've earned in my life, the person that I became in the process is what I'm most proud about as well. People talk money, but I know some horrible rich people. But I also know some people that are not so wealthy in terms of finances, but they're wealthy in kindness and respect and knowledge. And I sometimes I look at that and, you kind of weigh. I prefer to have the money and the wealth and knowledge and concept and thinking and all the things. But it's a wonderful thing when you can have both sides to come together on the wealth side of things. You as a person and you as the financial person wealthy. And that's one of the things I can tell you we've gotten down to an art form or a science here in our company. So yeah, I built a couple of large organizations over the period of time, and it wasn't easy. In the beginning, Boris asked me, how did that work? My first about 3 years, my dad was telling me at that time back then, he said, son, you need to go to school and get a job, because Holton is making all the money, it looked like at the time, right? He wasn't making that much, he wasn't the type of money we make now at that time, but things wasn't happening because I was in my own way. I didn't open up enough to learn this stuff. I thought I was going to use my CEO experience from another company in traditional business to be successful in network marketing. And when I decided to let go and say, you know what, I need to learn this industry, and I need to learn it through someone who's had success and who's willing to teach me how to gain that success. And the smartest thing you can ever do is find someone who's having the type of success that you want in a specific field or industry. And if he or she is willing to teach you and coach you, that's your shortcut to the shortcut. And so I got my ego out of the way. It didn't make me less of a person, less of a man, less of anything. It made me a very wise person because I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I let go, and I decided to say, I said, Holton, I'm going to trust you, because he was the person that I had at the time, to show me this, and I'm gonna follow what you're saying and do exactly what you are suggesting to me, because I want to get this done. And it took me 3 years of bumping my head to finally come to that conclusion, because I was holding on to my macho ego, and men typically have it, that type of thing. And when I let go, it took me from, at that time, let me tell you this, I was going through in the States what you call foreclosure, bankruptcy, and repossession. The money was gone. That means foreclosure, they were going to take my house, and they did. Repossession, they were going to take the car, and they did. Well, not one of them, because one of them I just hid, so they couldn't find it. I'm just being completely honest. And then I had to file with the banks, with the courts for bankruptcy, meaning that we couldn't pay my debt, so they had to restructure payment. I was so broke, I couldn't afford the repayment part of it. It was tough. And I had to go back to the courts and try to figure out how to get out of this thing. And as an adult, it just made me feel, now that made me feel less than, because as an adult, I realized my decisions that I made in the past led me to the presence that I had at that time. And that's why I always tell people, the decisions that you make now will determine the type of future and the quality of future that you have later. And I had to make sure I made the right decision, because the decision that I had made put me in foreclosure, bankruptcy, and repossession. And then once I changed and said, you know what, let me get around some like-minded individuals who are willing to show me the way, do exactly what they're saying, and that way I can potentially have the type of results that they're having. And I did that. And that's why I say, fast forwarding, tens of millions of dollars later, multiple companies I own now. I don't just do network marketing now. I took some of the money, and I have a company that I do oil and gas, manufacturing work, and a little bit of real estate that we have in the portfolio, and all kinds of things we've been able to do. It was all because I went through that process. So if a person is here today and looking for something significant to take place, no matter who you are, we can do this, whether you're adding this to your portfolio or whether you're looking to replace and have a total income and financial makeover. With the experience that's here now collectively, not just me, but several other people that have come together, we have some major influential people that are doing business with us now. With that environment, you can't help but win. Not only do we have the environment for winning and the product for winning, but we have the people that are willing to come together for a common goal. That's why you've been hearing us. If you heard anything about what we call in the States called GOOD, we're having good parties, G-O-O-D, get out of debt. So GOOD stands for good, but we call them good parties because it stands for get out of debt. We now already have people so instead of talking about all this money everybody's making, we want to know, how much money are you saving? How much money are you investing? And how can we grow the money that you are going to make? And we're not going to be an investing club, but we're going to encourage the right things that the industry never did before. And so people are sending over, I have no more car notes in the state. We're going to have mortgage burning parties. We're laughing at that, call it mortgage burning, meaning that you won't have a house note. You do the one payment plan if you choose to do so, or pay it off at the proper time, because you would have the money coming from what we're going to do here. And we don't want any man or woman that's coming through our organization. Our goal is to eliminate as much debt and let them live as much of a good, high quality life as possible. And not only become financially free, but become mentally and otherwise free within themselves by becoming a better person overall and within their finances. So that's kind of some of the mindset of what we have. The other thing I say is this: I didn't want to do this. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had no desire to go and start another network marketing organization. It is some work to do in dealing with all kinds of egos and attitudes and different personalities, and not that I don't like people and things like that, but I got a 250,000 person organization that I still have in place. I have my traditional business to do. And when Mr. Buggs talked about starting this company, I'm asking him why. Like, me and you, we don't have, several of us, we don't have to do this anymore. And his answer was, there were many people who did not get a chance to benefit from us launching or starting a company before. And he said, we began to call out many names of people around the world, that some people that we had known for a short period of time or for a period of time. And we knew if we did this, they would tremendously benefit from it. And he said, Ed, I need you to go one more time, because we'll be able to go out there in our career and really make an impact on people, because we will be owners. And everything we ever wanted to do for our distributors, we're going to do here. Every promotion, everything that we wanted to take care of, anything that the owners said no to that we knew would work, we now don't have that lid on us this time. So our goal is to cater to our distributors and do the right thing by the distributor for once and for all in this industry. We've made a big impact on the industry, especially Mr. Buzz and what he's done. But this time he get a chance to do it with his own company with no constraints whatsoever. And so that's why we decided to go. We said we're going one more time, and we're going to create a $50 billion operation in 10 years. We already have a plan to get to $100 million by the first 12 months. We'll be at $100 million in the first 12 months. We already know where the volume is coming from, down to the city that we're going to get it. We've already laid out a plan. And typically when Holton and I put a plan together, we not only meet the goal of hitting not only meet the goal, but typically we exceed the goal. And that's what you have your hands on. So you come into part of the organization of us at the right time because of our mindset and what's already in place. So that's the extended version of your question. I hope I didn't go too long.
No, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Really appreciate it. And you're very famous with something that I think it's going to resonate here with the leaders. But it's going to be very important for other people as well. You say, to own your future, you need to own today. Now, please explain, because this is very important for people that are like, they used to procrastinate. They used to watch from a distance what other people are doing. It's almost like uncertain if this is gonna work for them, or if it's basically the stretch for them. So I think it's gonna be very beneficial for people if you can elaborate on this.
Yes, and I'm plugging my computer up before it goes out. But you're right. You have to take control of yourself today, so you can have, so you can have that. Your decisions today would determine your outcome tomorrow, period. So the reason why we're on this call for a reason. And somebody came on this call here just maybe let me check it out. Let me see what this guy's talking about. Yes, I heard from Boris and whoever invited me. But you got on for a reason, because you were intrigued enough to even get on here, because this could be a waste of time, but also this could be something of significance for the right person who's looking and saying, I just wanted to make sure, are these guys real? And you're looking to make a decision. I know I did that too. I had to get with owners and top people of the company, and I wanted to see, was there a connection? Did these guys have their stuff together and all of that stuff, and all of those things, or what have you? And so for us right now, because this decision that I'm doing, even for myself, to even say yes that I would do the opportunity, there was a decision that I made for a brighter future, not only for my family, but for many families. What if I said no? Holton maybe would have carried on, I don't know, but he and I typically do things together now. We're more like brothers than anything, very close family, very close family-wise. And so I would have probably had an influence, and maybe he would have said, well, if you're not going to do it, man, this wouldn't take place. But I knew without a shadow of a doubt that once I understood the power of what we had our hands on, and what we can do once we molded this whole operation, what we can do to make an impact, not only just in this industry of direct sales, but in business. We're now, from one of the sources out there, they're listing us as one of the top, I think, 10 or number 14 or something like that, fastest growing company in the world, and it's because of what we're doing in terms of the industry that we're in. And so you have to go out on and make that decision for yourself. Am I going to watch another Uber type of opportunity pass me by? Or am I going to consider it a privilege to be on the call because these guys are on to something and the proof is in the printout? Because we have already proven that there's a proof of concept here, and we've proven with the amount of money that has been generated and now paid out that the concept worked. What's going to happen when we get all of the things in line to grow this company? We have the potential of something significant that can impact the world that's happening right here today. And you all are an audience that's seeing it for yourself. And it's up to you to make a decision. Am I going to just watch it, or am I going to be a part of the movement? You know, it's totally up to you. I know everything is not perfect, but I understand. I tell people, everyone wants a ground floor opportunity, but they don't want the ground floor challenges. And now you can sit back and wait, say everything is perfect and the website is working right and all the things. That's not pre-lunch. Okay, pre-lunch is going to be a little ugly, but some of the things in the feedback that we get from the team people that are here that's involved are what we're doing, or what we're using to actually mold and shape the company. So you are in a unique position right now that can really, really be beneficial to you in the long haul, but you have to make a decision that I'm going to get involved in this thing. I want to be a part of the personal growth system that they have. I want to be a part of the big mission that they have to be a $50 billion company. If they have a plan to be a $100 million company in 12 months and putting 2,000 customers in business per day, those numbers are almost unheard of. And it's happening right here. And you have a chance to either say, I'm a part of the reason that it happened, or I saw it happen. And I would prefer for you to be a part of the team that says, I am the reason that it happened, and I truly benefit from it. So that's my answer to you.
And it's also, it's important for everyone to understand. I mean, if we look back to Uber before they started, if we look back to Amazon, if we look back to Facebook, initially in their first initial stage, they were all crappy companies. That's the reality. But they had a brilliant idea, and all of them, if we look basically, they were able to acquire free customers, like exactly what we're doing here. And if we take Facebook, for example, the first year they achieved 1 million customers, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
The goal here is 5 million. This is 5x what they've done in their first year. And it's major, because Facebook went from 1 million first year, 2004, to 6 million the second year, to 12 million the third year, to 28 million the fourth year. And today they're 2.5 billion customers, but they're not sharing anything. They're not saving any of us any money. And they're not sharing any, 60% of the revenue with us. And it's a big deal for people to see this, to understand this, and to understand that, if you'll be able to enter at such early stage, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to make it perfect by giving feedback to the company and improving stuff all the time. This is how great companies become great. They become great because of the time that they grow. And the same is true for individuals that are want to grow with the company and want to be leaders, and not to be stopped by the challenges that they're inevitable. It doesn't matter what business you are. Even if you got a job, you're still going to have the challenges on a day-to-day basis. The only difference is, are you building your freedom and your escape out, and you're reducing your importance in the workplace, but without reducing your income on the workplace? Because this is the opportunity here, what we have. Excellent. I think it's also with respect of your time, if you don't mind, if we can open up, maybe if there is some people that they may have some questions and they may want to ask you something. I think it's let's give them a chance.
Sure.
I think it's if we can unmute everyone, and if there is a question, maybe in the chat box, or anyone can shoot. as long as we don't get too many.
I've got one question.
Is that Ivan?
Yeah, thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, very well. Very
Yes.
well, actually. I'm expecting you coming here in London to meet you in person.
It won't be long. I can't wait to meet you. I think, well, a few weeks. I think we're maybe 3 or 4 weeks away now.
3, I think.
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah.
Anyway, actually, if the person is standby and his counter is near 60 days, he has structure underneath, but hasn't the money about the first pack. What's going to happen with him?
On your standby pack, that counter, I'm going to check again, Ivan, but that counter shouldn't apply to the standby pack. And I need to make sure I'm correct on that. Your count should start when you do coach class or business class, because once you start in a coach class, then your 60 days is supposed to start. From what I understand, unless I missed something from what we agreed on, they shouldn't necessarily have a counter. Now, here's the other deal. Yeah, I'm right. I am right, because they can't generate volume either. They make no money from the volume. At the standby pack, they can only earn money from the fast starts.
Just because
personally enrolling people.
It's $50 fee per month, but the stopwatch is still there, actually.
Let me double check on that today, and I'll send a message back to Boris to confirm, Ivan. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's right. And again, you may be giving us feedback that we just didn't realize. And I'm not sure, but the way that I understand, the counter should not start counting until they start with the coach pack. Okay.
The standby people, they have the clock down. So I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not, but for a fact they have it. And like you said, it's like they cannot earn money from the volume. They can only earn fast start bonus, but they have the clock. Yeah,
because see, here's the other deal. Even with if the counter goes off, and I got to see, you brought up a good question. That is a great question, Aaron. Thank you so much for that, because I'm going to bring this up to them today. I'm going to the office in a little while, because let me explain this too. The reason why I'm kind of playing it out in my mind as I'm talking to you. When you begin with the coach pack, and if you don't upgrade, you can work yourself up to a higher level, and that now takes you to, a higher percentage of payout and what have you.
Right.
So, that's from actual work in the business. But if you are at the standby, you can't accumulate volume, so you can't work yourself up. So that's why the counter shouldn't be there. And just let me clarify some things later today, and I'll have an answer tomorrow. But that is a great point. Never thought about it, didn't know it. And so we'll figure it out and see if we can fix it or give some clarity to the field about it.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
And as far as I understand, the standby is not a pack. The packs are only coach, business, and first class. The standby is just the website and the ID side, the instrument that people can use to really start building their business prior to picking up a package, correct?
Yes, correct. That's considered your wholesale pack, a wholesale position, or whatever they want to call it. But the real packs of earning with volume starts at coach, of course. But let me just get some clarity to it. Okay. Anything else, Ivan?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Who is that?
It's Vic. Pleased to meet you, Edwin.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for spending some time to talk to us all today.
Sure.
One big question it's been pondering me since we saw Holton back in London a few weeks ago. The fact that we're talking about true residual income that we can pass on to our future generations.
Sure.
How does that work? If we're paying a membership fee ourselves at the moment, our $99 a month, if I suddenly drop dead next week or a month later, God forbid that happens.
We're not going to let that happen. We're going to do our best.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But how,
All right.
when I do pass away, how does that work? Does it end there, or if we're going to
No.
pass it to our future generations?
Your estate or your family or next who's in line would show, that they're taking over the estate or whatever. And then we would have to pass that over and sign that account over to whoever's had the proper documentation. You can actually put that in your will as to who that person should be. And then we can actually just change the name to the account so they can have accessibility to it.
Right. So literally, if we put it into a will, it then gets moved forward.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We had that to happen before in a similar situation. The husband survived, and both names were on there. He's since gone on to remarry the whole deal. So that was years ago, and then so we just had to take the previous wife off, of course, and put the others. I don't know if he had the other significant other or not, but anyway, everything completely transferred to him because both names were on the account at one time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good question. And yeah, but you can do it as long as they have the proper documentation. Just like going to any other thing, then we can. Of course, we'll do that, and we would never take anybody's income because their past is just what's in line.
It was just a thought in my mind how it passes on and what the procedure will be. So fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
You effectively are passing on your customers. So if you think about this, it's like you build a customer base, you're passing to your future generations your customer base. That's that's the point.
Yeah.
That you're building a
the only time something will happen with your account is if you just give it up. You don't pay any auto ship pay the subscription or stay active or whatever. If it's just something you abandon the account, then we would have to make the decisions to, terminate their account or whatever. But as long as the person's staying active and doing what they need to do and something is to happen to them, by all means, we'll take care of that. That's no problem. Okay. Anyone else?
Can I ask a question, Edwin?
Yes.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Declan Dowling's my name. I'm obviously calling in from Ireland, if you can understand the accent.
I do.
Listen, it's a general question in the network marketing arena. And the reason I ask it is there's a lot of people that have, bought the dream, to join a network marketing company, and, put effort into it. And for whatever reason, it just didn't happen for them. Mm-hmm. So, they eventually understand that they need to learn, different skill sets and bring a commitment to it, et cetera, et cetera. I suppose what I'm saying is some people get burnt out. So they get burnt out in the industry because they don't understand that, it takes a time commitment to build a foundation and really get into it there. So there's some people who've been casualties, basically. Very, very good people, givers, people's people, but have just got, burnt out with the industry. There's a saying, it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead.
Yes.
But again, there's a lot of good people there that are just wounded. So just with the amount of experience that you have there, is there anything that you could suggest in a conversation with these people to maybe just give them a little bit of hope or a bit of glimmer of hope of maybe, listen, I've one last run in me. Yeah. I might just take, could you give any advice on that?
That's very good. I do know, I call it network marketing scar tissue that people have. Really, it's there, man. I was one of the ones who were wounded as well. I was just tired, burnt out, and that's why I guess another time, coming up to this one, I was a little bit tired and frustrated with the industry. We're on the downside of us with Organo, not from a people standpoint. We had to do some changes and just the whole motivating people at the time. It was a little bit of frustration. So I wanted, after working so hard and getting yourself to a position, I kind of wanted to just take some time with my grandson and just enjoy life because I've always worked. you know, to make sure the family had a good, secure future. Well, because of the unique position that we're in now, I'm going to use this term. And I told somebody this as well the other day. I said, we are no longer renters in the industry. We are owners for the first time. So I call being a part of someone else's company renting space. And I use that analogy. And so because of what we're looking to accomplish here, we didn't do this out of necessity, needing some money. I mean, it just wasn't the case for us, fortunately, to say that. It was a bigger vision behind it. Truly to make this where a person can come and get involved with people who are still at their peak in terms of accomplishments in the industry, but having the right intent of making sure that the people are taken care of. And it works both ways. The people have to do their part, but we're going to create the environment for them. We wanted to have one last run and go for our last run of finally taking the reins of ownership, creating an environment so that if a person who wanted to do this, I'm going to call this the company of redemption. All right. If a person really wanted to build something that made sense, the travel industry makes sense, having the pre-up and things that we're doing, we're really just still using the network marketing platform, but we're still doing real business. And so my conversation would be to them is, listen, I have decided, I've been looking, and I'm pretty sure you looked at how things go and, you know, evaluated and investigated, or whatever term you want to use, and say, listen, I've taken some time to look at a new business opportunity. And more than anything, if you do believe in what Buzz's vision is and what we're about to do collectively, myself and some of the others, talk about the people that's behind this particular concept and the vision of the concept, where people now can participate in something that's a real business model that has a network marketing twist to it. And I would show them that we have average, ordinary people who are finally winning in this industry. And I'm telling you this for real as well. We have more newcomers, and I have people in my organization now that I have done business with before, a couple of people that never made any money, and they're making money now, money enough to live and sustain a lifestyle. They tried for years in other companies, but they got with us in this scenario, and now they're making some of them significant money, and some of them making just money because they had never made anything before. And so we have a concept and a business opportunity that has really truly leveled the playing field. There's a big vision behind it with people who've gotten major results from their previous endeavors. And so that's something that's uniquely different about our company. And so, hey, all you can do is, once you explain that, is let them have get exposed to how are we going to do it. And for some of those people, if you and I have to do a call with them, they can hear it from me, the one who didn't want to do this. And I can tell them why. And I can tell them why I'm so excited. And I can show them the results. And if the results don't speak for themselves, then this just may not be for them. And so that's the approach that I would take.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
I think
One last thing I'll say on this one. Keep the talking points the same. We have come up with a concept that we're using an Uber style technology with an Amazon philosophy. There's a 12-month goal to be at a $100 million company in 12 months. They're activating you can just give them a few things of what's going on. Over 2,000 customers per day are being active right now. And companies are starting to take notice, and different publications are taking notice. And one in particular is noting them as one of the fastest growing companies in the world right now, in the top 20 of companies that are growing in the world. And they're just only 3 months old right now. If a person's not willing to look at that, then that may not be the right person. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks again.
I think also it's very good to give them like a vision.
We lost you.
I think it's also very good here to give them a vision, because there is some leaders here future leaders that will be interested. You know, they never experienced the kind of success that you have experienced. So if you can basically put it for people that are like go-getters, that they'll basically get in, they'll focus, they'll dedicate, they'll commit, and they'll go all the way. So if you can give them, like with, you know, what you've done with Organo, comparison to the comp plan and what you have here in place, what this will mean for those people that will basically sacrifice their family time, their time with maybe doing other stuff or other businesses, to go and commit X amount of hours on a daily basis. And what this will work for them if they do the right activities, because obviously they need to do the right activities on a daily basis as a habit before it's become automatic for them and they don't even think anymore. But I think it's going to be good for those visionaries, for those leaders, to hear it from you, as you can compare it with Organo, with what you have already done, and you know the comp plan here and the twists that have been made to accelerate the growth of the leaders.
And I'm responding to someone in the chat that knows me very well. And I'm going to say this inside to them. Yes, I know taking your flag in Milan. Someone has responded to me who knows me very well, and I'm glad we reconnected as well. So I'll leave it at that. But in response to what you're saying, Boris, I do have, I mean, as busy of a schedule, and I have more responsibility this time. You know, being the Global Master Distributor means that I am the head distributor of the field. And most of the, so it's kind of a teetering on not only being a rep, but some responsibility on the corporate side of things. I don't hold official capacity there, but of course Holton is, you know, he wants me on every decision because I have to properly direct the field. And certain decisions that I have to make totally. Anything to deal with the organization structures and all of that stuff, it has to be cleared through me. So I do have a bigger responsibility than I've ever had. I do have a strong, thriving business as well that I have outside, plus a family and a new, we have our dynamics is saying, I thought we were about to be empty nesters around here. Got the youngest out. She's off from the university onto her own career. And the oldest came back with the son. So our dynamics have changed. I got a 2-year-old running around here now. So, you know, it's that all that has changed, right? So my point to it is all of this. I am just as busy with anyone that could be on this phone call today. But it's all about prioritizing your time and what's most important for you. So what I do is, I mean, every day, I don't complete a day until I finish it. In other words, I close my day out every day like I do a business. You know, make sure I got my calls done, what I didn't accomplish or whatever. What's the next day going to look like? And so whatever I didn't finish, then I carry it over to the next day. And then typically my calls are right on point. I mean, it's a pretty tight schedule. And I even factor in family time and all of that stuff. So there's some organization to what we do. There's a calendar training that we do. There's a calendar training that we have. And so I want to show you how we do it. Of course, we can't do it here, and I'm going to have to get off in a minute, too. I forgot I got another call. But I want you to just organize your time. Put your family time in. Put whatever recreation, and I'm going to use the term spiritual. I'm not here to religion. We don't get into religion as a part of politics, but what's important for you, make sure you block that time out. You know your work schedule or your business schedule that you may have if you're a business owner. And then after that, there's nothing more than creating additional wealth for you and your family. And so most of our things that I know of in the industry is done in the evening time. So in other words, when most people are getting off work who you want to prospect, then you probably can get them on a conference call, or you can have a meeting with them one-on-one or a group meeting. So the evenings and your weekends are going to become the most valuable to you, the evenings and the weekends. So Jim Rohn, a great trainer, you know, he said you work full-time on your job or part-time on your fortune. And so I'm going to say this one could potentially be your your part-time, but become a fortune. You can make a fortune with it. And if you properly take out a couple of hours a day, maybe, or choose the days that you're going to do, maybe get yourself 4 or 5 hours, you know, I want to say at minimum 4 days a week doing something towards your business. Minimum 4 days a week, 2 hours at a time. That's 8 hours a week to work on your fortune. So within that, what do you do in that 2 hours? I use that for prospecting time. My hours are a lot more because, you know, here we are, maybe an hour on this call. You know, I have several other people that I've been talking to throughout the day. And I mean, I'm in the hunt because I know this is the biggest one we've ever done. So, but if you want to just do something on a part-time, do your prospecting calls within an hour and do a meeting within an hour. So just find a way to take I'm gonna say 2 to 3. I'm even extended to 3. 2 to 3 hours a day working part-time on your fortune. And that way you manage what you're gonna do with that, and you plan out ahead as much as possible what you're gonna do with that time. And even if it's having conference calls like this, because the technology has made the world much smaller now. It's so many people. I have a guy right now that he was probably 20,000 points away last month from Diamond, 200,000 points. He did it all from Zoom. He hadn't done one live meeting yet. And so in his time, he's getting a group of people together on a Zoom. He's explaining the vision of the company, and he's putting people in like crazy. So those are things I would say, just manage your time properly. And I'm going to use the term, be bold about your decision to get started in the business. You made the right decision. Now your job is just to expose the business to people. And once you do the proper exposure to them, whatever they do with that information, it's on them. It's on them. You've done your job. I sleep well after I've done my job to at least expose the people, especially my family, or the close loved ones or friends. I tell them, if it's Boris my brother, Boris, listen, I'm just letting you know what we're about to do. Let me show you what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how you can possibly benefit from it. And that way now, at least you can be exposed to what we're about to do, because we're going to create a company in the next 12 months that's going to do $100 million in business, and you can possibly be a part of it. And so once I expose it to Boris as my brother, I am done. You will not have me chasing that person to become successful. You should not have to chase other people for them to become successful. They should be looking for you. And so take a stronger stance, if that makes sense, about the decision that you made to get started in this business and to launch your business with us. When you take that stance, people will respect it, whether they get involved with you or not, but they will respect you because of how strong you're standing in terms of your belief and the vision that you're painting. And you've done them a courtesy of at least exposing it to this. And I'll say this as well quickly. In my career, I have had several occasions where I did not let a person know what we were doing, and it came back to me from them, why didn't you expose it to me? And I thought, well, I didn't think you would do it. And so what I tell a person is, stop prejudging for other people. Expose it to everybody, because the ones that you think will do it, they probably won't. And the ones that you think will, and the ones that you think will, they probably won't. And the ones you think won't, probably will. You just don't know what a person's circumstance is. And it's our job just to expose it. And again, once they get the information, whatever they do with it, it's on them. You've done your job, and you can go to sleep with peace because you've done the right thing by people.
So yeah, the bottom line is, if in the next 12 months, 100 million will be generated through the technology, through the inventory that basically we have in our hands, then the only question is for... No.
We're not talking about travel savings money. No. As a company, from what we're doing just as a company, what we're going to do on the travel savings and the travel bookings, that revenue is not what we're counting.
Okay, so you're talking 100 million in basically packages and people starting their own business, basically entering the business as partners, they're starting to expose more customers.
And reoccurring orders and things of that nature. Yes, we're not counting gross sales of travel. No, sir. No, okay. We're not.
So then the question is to people that are in business is what share they want out of this 100 million over the next 12 months.
That's correct. Absolutely. Yep. And when a company has with a goal to be at a $50 billion operation, we're pushing. Well, if we fall short and we only do 1/5 of what we said, or 10% of what we say, then we're still in good shape. What if we fall short and become a $5 billion operation? We still have done our job. And all of us can live off a piece of $5 billion of revenue coming in every year.
And maybe the last thing, if you can share, now there is obviously promotions that are running and not everyone is aware of them. Maybe if you can just basically close with this, how they can utilize those promotions and really catapult their business to the next level.
Yeah, well, boomerangs are what's going to drive major volume income for you as well. So the ones with the most boomerangs out and group with the most boomerangs out will most likely be the most solid organization. So they're critical to do that. Boomerangs are valuable because, again, once it goes out to a customer, the goal is for that boomerang to be utilized and come back to you as cash money. When on 5 days ago now, day 104, which was Saturday, I think I'm calling it right. I may be off on my times here, but I know 104 was Saturday. And Holton Bugs, I guess, had it in him to say, we're going to have a 104 promotion, meaning that if it's multiple things that happens here. If you any person that sponsors a first class pack for the rest of the month, you're going to get 104 boomerangs. So every time you sponsor a first class pack, you get 104 boomerangs. Okay.
So just a small clarification, Edwin. Is this instead of 50, 104, or on top of the 50, 104?
No. Well, let me say this. That's a good one. That is a good one. It's two ways on this one. The sponsor gets 104. Okay, so Boris, you sponsor me. I bought a first class pack. You're gonna get 104 boomerangs for bringing me into the company, and then I get my 50. And now I got to make sure you brought up another point. I need to get with T. Gray on that one. That is a good one. I think that would be 154 for the person if they get theirs. Let me clarify that one out. Send that message out too. But the promotion is, and also if a person upgrades from wholesale, wholesale, coach, or business to first class, then that person who upgrades themselves get 104 boomerangs. And so, yes, you should get, I don't know if I need to clarify, is it a total of 104 or 104 plus 50 that the person who actually gets started for the first time, what do they get? I will clarify that one too. Didn't even think about it. We've just been putting people in and working so hard. Some of the other stuff I'll figure out later.
Okay, may I ask a question? Or we are running out of time?
You can. You know what? For you, I will stay.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you very much, Edwin. Thank you very much, sir, for spending it was very inspirational. I was taking notes, and I know the site right now is translated into 10 languages.
Sure.
And you mentioned that you're going to be visiting Italy, Spain, UK, and France.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what do we need to do? Because I'm Bulgarian myself, as you can hear from my accent. but I'm based here in the UK. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you when you come to London.
Sure.
But for the people on the call who are not based in like in the UK, like Declan, or I don't know everyone on the call, but I would assume lots of Bulgarians are on the call that are based in Bulgaria. What do you need us to do in order to kind of bribe you into come to Bulgaria, and how do that work in order to get you to Bulgaria so you can inspire more people, like in person?
Now, see, Boris, this is unfair. I think you set me up on this one. You had her to come on with that soft voice and so nice, and now, oh my goodness.
It has nothing to do with it.
That was a setup, man.
Edwin, I can answer that one. I can answer that one for you.
Okay.
Put 2,000 people in a room.
No, that's true. I couldn't deny that one now. I tell you what, I do want to put a number to it, and I'm going to have to come back to the market. I don't know if I can do it because I only have about a week and a half of flexibility there, and it's going to be running a tight schedule that week. As much as I want to say yes, I don't know, and I need to also look at geographically, get an understanding. And this is an offline conversation that we would have. So 2 things I like to do when I'm going into a market. I mean, one thing I say I want to do this. I want to see the numbers. I do like to see the numbers to make sure that it warrants a trip at this time. And then what I would suggest that we do, we need to begin to have me to do some Zoom conference calls closing. So you all do a presentation like I know you had meetings over in Bulgaria, and I applaud you all for that. Congratulations. I did see those pictures. So to introduce me to the market and to have something to build up for, let's begin to have some calls and things of that nature where I can say hello, get familiar with some of the people, and then we'll build up the numbers. And we will know when it's time for me to go, because we want to make sure we maximize that trip for the Bulgarian benefit.
Yeah, perfect sense. Yes,
okay.
Makes perfect
So
sense.
let's do that first, and then and you know, whoever you're going to lead it yourself, make sure all of you all should have my numbers. I'm gonna say that, Boris. Make sure this team has my number. I can't get to everybody, but wherever I can, if you can work through the leadership, I still like for you to work through the leadership and let the leadership know what's going on. But if there are some of those nice size meetings that you would like for me to, to zoom in on and say hello, let's begin to engage with the people, and then collectively we can make those decisions on when it would be the best time to go into those different markets.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. See you in the UK. I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we kept you for a long time, so I want to say thank you very much for everything that you managed to share with us. It's been like really inspirational, extremely powerful for all of us. We really appreciate it, and we thank you for all you're doing every single day. So thank you very much for your leadership and for everything you're doing.
All right, and Boris, and to the whole team here, thank you all too for what you are doing. Boris, we've been back and forth with each other, and just been a pleasure to work with you. And I want to just tell you all, also for the entire team, I appreciate your patience. I know everything is not all pretty and painted like we wanted in terms of the house that we're building for a company. And I call it a house, our house. This is our house. But if we can just be patient together and walk through this process, I can tell you we have always made it right. Bugs and I have always made it right. And we don't see this one. We know for a fact this one won't be any different. So, go out and build it. Challenges, things like you just brought to the table, I'm going to be checking on today to make sure that we get some clarity and different things of that nature. But there's nothing we can't fix and adjust. If it's not working for us, we're going to throw it out. If it's something we need to bring in, we're going to bring it in. But we're going to find a way to make sure that you all truly benefit from what I call our home. and we're proud to have you. So raise those Bulgarian flags in Ireland and anywhere else that I may have missed on here. We appreciate you all just as much as you say that you appreciate us. So I'm going to jump off for now, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Really appreciate
bye,
it.
everybody. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, the importance of really, I suppose, edifying who's in charge, who's at the top here. You know, Holton and Edwin, and obviously Extreme. You know, that's you know, you've heard the saying before: sell the sizzle, not the sausage. You know, we have, you know, tremendous leaders there with a tremendous track record. And you know, if people can't, you know, if as a part of their due diligence, don't understand, you know, that very strong connection we have with these guys, they're missing out on a huge opportunity.
We're in a unique situation, unique position, basically. And I hope everyone today in this call realize this. It's like not just timing-wise, that's clear, but timing-wise, if we don't move, if we don't expose people, if we don't help people, if we don't make a difference in other people's lives, makes no difference. But timing will make a difference for everyone that rolls their sleeves and start to build like there is no tomorrow, because this is exactly what they're doing. This is exactly what Edwin is doing, regardless how busy it is. And it's inspirational just to see from people that have achieved so much, that are giving so much, and they're engaging and making time for, you know, for a small growth, almost like insignificant with the markets that they're dealing right now, to come and to spend like 2 hours with us. It's like unbelievable. And we're like really blessed to have this connection and to be in this position. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight, for spending the time with us. And
thank you for organizing us.
Let's build it together. Let's build it big. Let's change lives, and let's empower, inspire, and really bless everyone we touch. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
It's a pleasure.
You're watching this. You could be there. At the very beginning of what will be one of the biggest shifts the industry has ever seen. Watch as we deliver on a promise and a new vision like no one has ever seen before. Whatever you do, don't miss it.